So, a lot happened on the day that was a bit more calmer for once. One of you had a conversation with your partner, and some discussions were had about what to do and how the new contract could be used. For another one of you, it was trying to understand more about their past, if I remember correctly. For one of you, it was handing over a item that you don't want anywhere near you anymore. Handing it to a close friend. And for one of you, it was a dawning realization of uncertainty in the future and nearly ripping the jugular out of a giant elk. No idea who that could have been.
Yeah, wasn't me.
As well as understanding the potential for not a matter of if, but a matter of when, as dreams start to lose their potency. However, when we last left off, the party had just arrived at the town gates. The drawbridge, weirdly enough, is up, as you gather, that's probably the curfew. And then it starts to rumble its way to go back down as the main gate lifts up. As three well-armed and heavily armored guards come out with spears that look like are designed to rip through heavy diabors and tower shields. Except these armor plates almost resemble dragon scales made of iron. From the joints, it seems to be a chainmail that looks almost like dragon scales. And the plates themselves look like heavily strong, thick iron. They all seem to be varying in height. One is roughly around about 7 foot tall, definitely showing signs of a Goliath. Another is a human, and the third seems to be leaner, but half-elven maybe. And all three of them kind of gauge. The human-looking one raises it. It's like one of those knights' helmets that you have to like flip up so you can see their face. And it's a middle-aged to near elderly individual, male. One of his eyes is completely clouded with a giant claw mark going down the side of his face. As well as his armor looks like it's the most dinged up and scratched. Can we help you?
Yaya will ride forward and say, I am Princess Yaya Ilistir of the city of Ilistar, and I am the leader of this group of refugees, and we were looking to request refuge within this village for the night.
You see, they all three look at each other, and there's a look of excitement in their eyes. Even the elderly man. Oh, yep, right. You might want to come with us. As the two move aside, and they're actually looking towards the forested areas as well as the sky. With a look of readiness. As the elderly man brings you inside, the convoy follows in, and once all of you are in, the gates calmly, once the two are in with them, calmly shut, and the drawbridge is heightened and brought up, and locked in place. As the a few shouts in Elven, Dwarven, Halfling, Gnomish, and Common get thrown around, and it's more like, what is everyone standing around? Because you see people actually coming out to see what's going on, and you see a bunch of people rush forward to like help people off horses and help people get down, offer to, a hand for everyone to get down or to get down after what looks like a very long day of travel. And you see the human whispers something into what looks like a runner, who's wearing like leather armor, scout armor, longbow on the back, and a quiver. Dwarvish-ish. He's quite tall for a dwarf. Looks about 4'11", so actually quite tall for a dwarf. And he immediately turns and sprints. Which you gather is probably leading towards the town hall or the leader's house, because it is mid to late afternoon. So you gather people are still awake, people going about their business, and there's a crowd of nearly 200-ish people coming over very excitedly, whispering to each other like, refugees? We've never had refugees before. Oh wow, this is amazing. Where did it come from? Do you think it came from the north?
Can I just kind of move to the middle of the group and just try to be as far away from anywhere that can be visible?
Sure, yeah.
Just, squishing myself between two horses. It doesn't...
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
mean, it's
picturing your antlers sticking up above everyone else.
just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I need to shrink.
At this point in time, you hear some people make way for the captain of the guard, as like people are like to like move aside and move away, even though they're lingering a bit. And what you see is a long-haired, black raven hair, bit of a goatee and a mustache, very well groomed. Sword at his side, kind of like studded leather armor, a short sword, a long bow, and quivers. Looks like this. Looks very world-weary. Looks young. But the eyes tell a depth of age. And he goes, beg your pardon. Sorry for the onlookers. Everyone, please give him space. They're new to town, I get everyone's excited, but let's just give him some breathing space, yeah? I was told one of you speaks for the lot. I need at least 4 individuals that can speak for the entire refugee group.
Yaya steps forward.
Well, it's 1. Anyone else that could speak on the group's behalf?
Kitty's laughing.
Um,
And just
Yaya says, "This is my second in command, Daisy."
And he looks
No!
between he looks between all the horses and just sees. She doesn't seem that social, ma'am.
Just because she's
not-
not social doesn't mean to say she hasn't got the authority.
Well, very well. Be it me to not question that. Excuse me, ma'am. Can you come to the front, please?
I'd really rather not.
I promise.
I'm gonna grab her and pull her forward.
I take it you, sir, looks at you, James, that you are also part of the negotiation troop.
Sure. I'm a hunter. Plain and simple.
You
But-
look at him, he's wearing like hunter-based garb. You gather he was about to go out to do some hunting and they got called in. So, I can respect that. Truth be told.
And this is Kitty.
So I take it all of you speak for your group.
Yes.
Not me, I'm just dragged into it.
Well,
I don't
either
think
way,
any of them want me speaking for them. But, I definitely can speak if you like.
Mm.
And she looks him up and down and goes, however you like.
Okay.
thanks, but I'm taken.
Well, that doesn't bother me so much.
It does bother me, so let's not.
My god.
I am Malcolm von Karsten. I'm the captain of the Iron Dragon Brigade Guard here in Drakhum. As quote of our strict policy about refugees, travelers, and whatnot, equivalent exchange. Hence why I asked for 4 to 5. These are my trusted individuals. They will remain here with your group while you accompany me. So that way, it's a guarantee that no funny business or any fear of underhanding or undermining takes place. And this is just a simple, quick questions, and then we'll return you back to your group, and then we'll wait for the stewardess to arrive to usher you to the nearest tavern that can house, and he does like a quick head count, 80 plus. The horses can be looked after at the rusted stables. Can someone go wake up Reginald? He's got a lot of individuals to look after. Just for clarification, who here has been injured? Who here is requiring food? Does anyone need fresh water? I'll allow Winston to take a list, take a note, and we'll make sure that the largest tavern that can house all of you is prepared. That's why I'm asking.
Well, there's not many people.
A quick thing. We did have a long rest at some point.
Yes, you did.
For sure, right?
We traveled
Yeah.
like 3 days, yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say, why do I only have 24 hit points?
And he looks at Yaya at that point. I trust you have someone who can speak on the complement of your group.
I'm going
While
to indicate Mary.
Mary just goes, "Oh yeah, I can do that. No problem." Winston, is it? And he looks up at this. She's about to look up and then looks down. It's a gnome. She goes, "With a name like Winston, that's fair." Winston just goes, "I'm just going to ignore that." Very well. I will do my due diligence, sir. At that point, Malcolm goes, "If you four will follow me, please. I'll take you to the iron wall." As he quickly turns on his heel and just walks in a direction. At which point Mason looks at all of you going, "Are you sure this is a good idea?"
You have a
Do
better
you have
idea?
a better one?
Honestly, no, I'm just... We can't exactly turn around and run if we get in trouble.
Where would we run to at this point?
You know, that's fair, and I can see a lot of people being a little bit antsy to just lay
Please.
their head
Better
down.
if you
In a
all
bed.
stay together, and we'll deal with whatever we have to deal with. Just,
Alright.
if necessary, just make sure everybody's ready to
Hustle.
make a run for it if we need to. So
Got it.
don't unpack.
I don't think anyone's planning on unpacking. I think we've learned our lesson once before.
It's not like it's a whole bunch of cannibals this time, so it should be fine.
That we know. We don't know yet.
Well, either way, we've dealt with them once before. It should be fine. It's not like it's another lich or whatever, so, it'll be fine.
No.
Kitty, take a look at the numbers. There's 200 here versus us 80-ish. I don't think they outnumber us in numbers right now, and we are in a tight spot. So how about we just keep polite and professional with this one?
I wasn't planning. I'm just saying, relax.
That's not in his nature.
I know it's not, but he really should relax.
I'll relax when all of us are safe. But right now, I don't feel too safe, even if the equivalent exchange is happening.
You never feel safe.
All right.
Just hurry back. As I take it, all of you follow Malcolm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he takes you to the not the far end of the town, and the town is large enough to house 3 borderlining 4 districts. And Malcolm kind of gives you like the rundown of like down. He takes you to like the center and just sort of like goes, that way is Artwood, that's the Howdall district and the capital. That way is Bintui, the economy and commerce district, and Kataran is the temple district. The Iron Wall is where my brigade is located, and it's more of a military district, but it's early stages, so it's just what it is. And takes you to what is quoted as the Iron Wall, and you see a barracks made completely of iron.
Seems like it might be a waste of materials.
You know, we thought so, but when we found this place, it literally was just here. Cleaned it out, and decided to build around it.
So there was... This iron fortress was just here, in this field.
Yeah, we had to do a very hard running of it, but we've gone through it top to bottom. We've had diviners go through it top to bottom. Even found the basement.
Looking at this fortress, is there any indication of the sort of culture that might have made it?
All of you can roll either a history or an arcana check.
Now, would this be considered lore about Fae, fiends, or undead?
No.
Damn it. That's true.
I know why you
Well-
ask, but no.
I'm gonna ask every
But
time.
I remember seeing it there.
No.
Just a 10 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just a second. You said you just happened upon this? Where did you
Well-
happen upon it? Was it stationed here?
It was stationed here.
Yeah, but it didn't used to be stationed here.
Well, when we were... Well... When we arrived here, it was here, and there was a lot of rundown buildings, and we just started repairing.
No, you see, I didn't live too far away, and this was not here.
When did you guys arrive?
Ooh. 6-7 months ago.
That explains it.
Actually, it doesn't. It looks like this is a town that looks like it's been here for at least 100 years, give or take, and yet they got here 6 or 7 months ago.
Like, you built this place in 6 to 7 months?
Well, we repaired it, and we had some help from neighboring elven kingdoms, and they brought a few magical items that allowed them to build environments really quickly. So we have a trade route with the elven kingdoms down south. So
Well, that's handy, but I'm still slightly curious because it was not here, and I distinctly remember my stepfather giving it an odd look as well.
I honestly don't know what to tell you. So James got a 10. Yaya, what did you get?
26.
26.
Good.
That's fair.
Daisy?
That's fair, yeah. I did so good. I did amazing. I got a 4.
Okay. And Kitty?
I rolled a nat 20 for 21.
Okay, for the 2 of the 10 and the 4, it's
Iron.
beautiful. It's iron, but it's also very beautiful in its artistry. Weirdly enough,
It's not slapped together. It's purposely made.
it's purposely made, and it definitely looks like a barracks. And it also looks, and with that 10, I'll give you, it looks enchanted.
Does it look like
with-
it's seen battle damage?
Yeah. But for the other 2, with the natural 20 and the 26, this is draconic made. You look at it and you realize it's equally iron as it's also equally black and steel dragon scales melted into as almost like an outer layer. Hence why it's got that iron look to it. And then it dawns on you, all the guards that are around this iron dragon brigade are wearing actual draconic scales as their armor.
Does it look as if this fortress was built here, or if it came from somewhere else?
Judging by the design, the build, and the make, it looks like it was placed here instead of built here.
Does it look like perhaps it's something a dragon may have moved here?
More than likely.
The battle damage to it. Is there a certain side that it favors?
The roof.
Oh.
It looks like something big hit it and left an indent.
Are there...
Does it look like a giant hit it?
It does.
Okay.
I was gonna say, are there like indications of what kind of weapon or natural weapons may have caused it?
Yeah. Lightning.
Honestly, that just makes sense. A big piece of metal in a field. Yeah.
Electricity.
That's gonna be my conclusion with that.
Yeah. Well, it
Yeah.
actually looks like the battle damage came before it landed here.
Does it look possibly like it may have came from the God's War?
With that natural 20, no. It looked like it came from a war of a different kind.
Is there evidence of any kind of, I guess, a crater? As if it impacted when it landed, or if it was more of it was placed?
It would look like it was placed.
So it didn't fall from the sky, okay.
No, it looked like as you look at it, there's teeny tiny grooves where it looked like it was placed and then shifted.
Kind of shifted a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like it looks more perfect at like 2 inches
like,
to the right.
Yeah, just scoot a little bit more centered, yeah.
Yeah, just that little twist so it's dug in a little bit, so
Yeah.
it's like
Does it look as if it's natural to this plane?
The materials, yes. The draconic scales definitely seem to be more native to this material plane rather than elsewhere.
Do I know of any dragons that were around here before?
To be fair, a lot can happen in the 6 months that you guys were traveling, near 7 months that you guys were traveling from the north down to the south. You were aware that there were rumors of dragons in the southern mountains near the dwarfs. You knew of rumors of storm giants way up north facing against dragons in a massive fortress of some kind. But besides that, dragons are not really common on this continent. At least as far as you're aware.
The 6 to 7 months that they've been here, how does that line up with the, like, you know, everything happening?
Considering elves are brilliant architects, and a dragon planting something here, almost like a safeguard, possible.
Well, I mean more in like the timeline of, like the Twilight Peak Mountains coming into being, and like all like the previous things that happens then.
Mm-hmm.
Where would that put their arrival in terms of that?
Probably just after the Twilight Peaks were made.
Okay, so just after they were made, probably, and the Iron Fortress was already here at that point.
At round about that time, yes.
When they arrived here, yeah.
Yeah.
So, But that wasn't there when the Twin Peaks were made because that's when I left.
As far as you're aware.
Okay.
So some parts of your memory are not exactly adding up.
And my stepfather gave it the oddest look as well. He looked slightly concerned, if I recalled.
Mm-hmm.
That might also be because he was, you know what he was.
He
Um,
doesn't know what he was.
At which point, the two guards are at the gate, so like stand at attention, and immediately grab the what look like very beautiful and ornate doors that are look like they're made of brass and silver.
Also, dragon scales.
Yeah. Now that you know what to look for, it's a mixture of silver dragon and brass dragon scales melted together as they get pushed open. And Malcolm walks in first. Does kind of like a little twirl because he sees all your concerned faces to show you that there's no traps and no harm.
Was the when the elves were helping y'all build this location, did they seem at all confused by this building?
They did a couple of studies. They gave us some records. Once we're done with the questioning, I can easily hand them over if you're that curious about this architecture.
I'm a bit curious, I'll admit.
Well,
More just if the elves were as confused as we are about its existence.
to be fair, I'm going to be completely honest, we haven't had any travelers or refugees come through from your direction.
Yeah.
But we have had traders and travelers come from the southern direction to try and study the mountains. They never came back though. They always got confused by this building. I think it's like a rite of passage at this point.
Meaning they had not been aware of it either.
No, I mean we were as skeptical, so we actually asked the Elven Kingdoms to send scholars and researchers and alchemists to try and deduce what this building was. And he's saying this as you're walking in. He takes you into what looks like a public office, essentially. And the inside is beautiful marble pillars, mahogany wood that's been varnished with what looks like very, very ornate rugs that are very heavily elven design. And there's a fireplace and comfortable chairs and a chaise lounge. And it almost looks like a hotel, equally as a barracks. As you see, like, numerous guards. If any of you are doing like a head count, you count between 100 to 150 in here, all wearing the exact same suit of armor, all in various sizes. Some with great swords, some with long swords, some with pristine battle axes. But all of them have tower shields.
A quick question for you. I've seen a lot of armor, a lot of very intricate armor.
Mm-hmm.
Was that here too?
No. That we brought with us.
Whereabouts did you all come from?
Oof. Previously, before we came here, we were a fleet on the high seas. Our ship was the only thing that made it ashore.
And from which continent do you hail from?
I'd have to look at a global map, but far west.
What? You're not sure what continent you're from?
It's been
6-7 months.
True. To be fair, my ship came later.
Sorry.
I've only been here for 3 months. The entire town's been here for 6-7 months. When correspondents came to our shores, I was part of the detachment that came over. Bulgaria. That's the name. That's the name of the continent, Bulgaria.
Your armor seems to have an interesting similarity to this fortress.
It does, I grant. It Well, and he takes you into the public office, and there's actually like an ornate captain's suit of armor that is not iron-based, but what looks like gold. And you see red etchings in there as well, and it looks like a resembling between a red and gold dragon, with an actual like draconic-looking helmet.
I would like to potentially do a history check on the name of that continent.
Sure, all of you can.
You said it was Garia?
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Yeah.
While they're doing that,
Mhm.
I'll look at them and I'm like, what other places in the south do people come from? Just the Elven Village or any of the other major locations in the south?
I've heard the dwarves are trying to retake the home mountains when they were kicked out by beast folk and other less than reputable monstrosities that apparently have taken refuge in the hovels, entities from the war that took place across the world. At least creations on that part. I know of other human settlements, like Aceburn had a revolution recently. They're still kicked around. I know Onydale is still around. They also sent helpers to build and such. They're still building. And Esteset near the sea, that's still around.
Mm.
But the Elven Kingdoms, there's at least 5, from my understanding, because we had 5 different trade convoys show up with 5 different flags. So that'd be more the Aldermans. If you wish to have a conversation about that, about who's left on this side of the continent, because we didn't know anyone was around from the north. And he'd be interested to know any information from you all once we're done here.
Well, as
once
you
you
can tell,
get
we're left from the north. It's not quite safe.
that much, I'm gathering, but still. And he gestures for all of you to sit as he sits basically in front of his armor, behind, with a very beautiful elven desk in front of him. Would anyone like tea, coffee? This is not an interrogation. This is just a simple few questions, as is my duty as captain of the guard.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I curl up on one of the chairs and look at him. Tea would be nice. I mean,
we have chai, we have green tea, we have Earl Grey, we have normal supplements. We have
I start
chamomile.
petting my keys and look at him. Do you want something to drink, baby?
And he looks down and he gives it a bit of a like a wincing glass, like, that's new.
Now, see, that's curious. Because the keys just look like keys, don't they?
I'm a very perceptive individual and I know a juvenile monster when I see one.
I did look at them and I'm like, he did talk nonchalantly about the fact that the monsters had taken over the Drover Kingdom, and he did seem to have no issue with it, so.
Yes, but who would look at a set of keys and go, that's a monster?
Someone who has plenty of experience when it comes to monsters, hunting monsters, and understanding their cycles and breeding patterns and how they work. Just because
He's
this
not
place,
hunting you, baby. He's not gonna hunt you. It's okay.
under no circumstance would I harm a juvenile that's been domesticated. That's a moral thing, and I understand you're trying to comfort him. That's fine. Him, it, she, they're kind of, most mimics are fluid. Let's just say that if you notice when coming in, the 2 to 3 guards that may have come in, probably looking at the skies and the surrounding areas. There are a lot more monstrosities on this side of the giant fence, as it were, than well, I can't say anything to the north, but we've had
Like
we've
what?
had
Like
well
what?
well, there's been a few bullets, bullets as they're known. There's been several giant eagles that have been trying to deal with our livestock. There have been chimeras coming through, and the occasional mimic pretending to be a lost chest or something coming through, needing food and being hungry enough. The occasional dog-like creatures that breathe fire, which we haven't seen before. A few undead coming through as well, but that's mainly from like the western Aceburn region.
Where did these you said fire breathing dogs? Would that happen to be a hellhounds?
If that's what they're called, you've only had to deal with 2 packs of 7 so far.
And where did they come from?
The way you came from. So you can imagine there's we have our rules and our laws here, but we're also a little bit cautious. As
Hellhounds makes sense.
evidence to the contrary, we are taking precautions.
But just hellhounds are coming from the north?
So far. Why? Is there other things we should be on the lookout for?
Nothing in particular.
Roll deception check, James.
Can I, while he's doing that, and this whole conversation has been going on, with my background as being a bit of a military type, can I see can I kind of gauge how well trained everyone in this barrack has been that I've seen? Like, are they people that are just looking tough in armor, or are they actual?
That would be an insight check with advantage, given your background.
By the way, that history check earlier was a nat 1, just so you're aware.
Not a clue.
Yeah, no. This deception was a total of 5. I've been rolling great today. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. Well, with a natural 20 plus 2.
He kind of does see through that.
Yeah, you realize he's just like looking at you and going.
To be fair, I've not hidden my distrust of him.
No, that's fair. He's gauging that very rapidly, and he's just kind of like, okay, look. How much bullshit you want to hide from what happened in the north? That's your business. I'm here for a very simple reason of wanting to protect the people under my care, which is a town. So I just need to know what potentially they might be facing.
Basically, you're looking at corrupted, possibly the hordes of hell, the hordes of the abyss, and whatever undead is being created by those 2 factions. Plus, there's also a large number of deep ones of a sort of like eldritch nature that we seem to be finding, and some of those have appeared on this side of the mountains, and
also the blood war. There's that blood war going on between the demons and the devils. I'd be surprised that ain't come on this side of the mountain. I'm surprised they're keeping it to the north, but
yeah, that's quite surprising. Also, some of the gods have woken up. Only some of them.
Yeah.
You see him kind of like
did try to come to this side of the mountain, but we did
Poor guy.
stop that. So
yes.
Does that sort of like cover everything that's
I mean, we did take care of my parents, so at least you don't have to deal with them right now. That also might be why you're losing people.
That big fireball, that was a lich's lair.
Yeah, my step parents, they're kind of not there anymore, and there was a lot of stuff in their chest. Anyways, it's okay. They're not there right now, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The big mushroom cloud.
We're gonna be kicked out real fast. Y'all know that, right?
You see him just basically. He has like a paper, like parchment and a pen, and with the equivalent of a pencil, effectively, and is just like making quick notes.
Say this
like
is
everything...
the only news from the north that he's gotten.
Yeah, so he's literally listening intently while like looking at everyone and writing rapidly.
And then I look properly and I'm like, so, I mean, that's just what we know of. The North is kind of a bit of a mess right now. And I mean, it seems like maybe my parents may have been stopping people from traveling through there, but they may have been stopping other refugees from getting here. So who knows what's really going on? There's not a lot of safety.
Well, for one thing, we've had some unique individuals join our community, none of which are demons or devils and we've had to vet them quite heavily. So they might actually know more of this as well, that you might be able to cross-reference from them once you've taken a night or two. Additionally, eldritch creatures. We have it's a modest building, but it's a school where a lot of practitioners have come forward and they're starting to sense things are moving in the shadows that might be interested in your findings. But Blood War is a new one for us, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Also, what did you roll for your insight?
23.
Heavily trained military.
I was afraid of that.
These guys seem to be well trained, disciplined, and very perceptive.
Yeah, alright. I mean, I'm just keeping quiet at the back of the room, basically, so just keeping an eye out if I see anything special about them other than just highly trained. But,
a few
because I'm pretty perceptive.
Yeah, a few seem to be, from what you gauged, battle mages. Very similar to how Yaya uses magic.
Yep. Alright. That's great.
So, Eldritch Knights, Blade Singers, you think.
Yeah, for anyone keeping even half an eye on Daisy, she seems to just kind of like crumple in on herself upon noticing that, just literally trying to just not have to deal with this.
Truth be told, you've answered a few of my questions I had written down here. Like, any news that came forward would be helpful. I did a head count, so that kind of answers my question. Do you have any more coming that we should make ready for, or is it just the group that you have?
Well, we do have a friend that comes in and out a little bit, but I think we did a pretty good job of blowing up my parents' house.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say this now, as someone who's listening to this. It might be a good idea for you to not say that more than once.
Yeah, it's not like something I would regularly talk about with everybody, don't worry.
Okay.
But given that you said you saw a whole bunch of people go that way and not come back, I just figured I'd answer that question possibly.
Yeah, that did answer my question. And you see Malcolm just makes a quick note and then goes, right. For one, are you planning to cause trouble while you're here?
We never plan to cause trouble.
What I mean by that, are you planning to steal from us? Are you planning to raid the town? Are you planning to do summonings that are not in the best nature of this community? Are you planning on giving out sensitive information that you may find here to people who aren't as morally on the right side?
I wouldn't say we are playing any of that.
That's the general.
We're definitely not planning on it.
Well, I hope you don't.
However, if any of your occupants of this village decide that they need to interfere with us or those under our care, then I can assure you we will certainly be winging it.
Well, I can say from my part in my entire company and the community I've been a part of, everyone here is just trying to get through.
What?
Yes, there'll be questions. Yes, there'll be people who are curious, but there won't be anyone trying to take advantage of your folk. They seem to have gone through enough as is.
Then I can probably assure you that we very rarely plan on things.
Noted. Your question, sir?
What was the purpose of establishing a city here?
I have my reasons. The archbishops, the weaver, the scale brother, the pious ones, they had their reasons. We all kind of just came together out of different reasons. But the big one is to kind of be the equivalent of like a welcome mat. Not something people could step on, but just a temporary safe harbor for people who are traveling from the north. We didn't know Finn was going to come through, and this is fertile land. So it's a good place to set roots, as it were.
The only thing that worries me is the last, shall we say, welcome mat we had in this area tried to eat us.
I can guarantee that none of us are cannibals. And if they are, they're found out pretty quickly. That being said, yes, there are less than enjoyable groups and roving bands of cannibalistic monsters out there. We've had a few try to raid this town before, hence why we built a drawbridge and asked a few people to create a moat. And there's also the watchtowers with the ballistas in them, so we try and build it enough deterrence to make this place seem harder than it is to deal with. But like I said, we've had a few interesting individuals join us over the months, and I myself have had to go through this exact same questioning from others, as well as questionings that I've had to do for others, and questionings of asking people who have come here and wanting to set up shop or lay claim to some land nearby.
You said you got here 3 years ago.
3 months.
Oh, excuse me, 3 months. You seem, as Captain the God, to run the city. Would that be accurate?
No. I maintain security, vet people who come here. I mean, beforehand, I was a captain in the military in Bulgaria, so it made sense for me to take up this position, as I'm very accustomed to defending a position pretty successfully, I might add. That being said, I am one of 4 that are part of a small council that's gradually getting bigger. There's the alderman, Simon Holtz, who you'll meet, and he's the de facto leader, shall we say. He's the one that does the day-to-day. When it comes to specializations like the defense of the town, that comes to me. When it's dealing with the ins and outs, that would be my sister, Adriana. She is the stewardess, and you'll probably be interacting with her for the remainder of your stay. I just do the vetting process. There's also Archbishop Vannabar, who is the kind of talking point of the temple district. There is Sir Moro Oros, who speaks for the taverns and the pubs and the commerce. So there are a few individuals. Our whole entire purpose is deciding what is the best for the town now that we've established ourselves. Whereas Simon Holtz has the final say because he is the one who has to interact with the other major factions in play. For us, it's more just about keeping morale up, danger away, and just making sure we have a place to stay and food in our bellies.
Well, this has been a gas. Do you have any other questions for us?
Not at present, but if I have any more, I'll send an invoice to...
Yeah. You know where we'll be. You're sending us there, so...
Well, it'll be up to my sister which tavern you'll be going to. If I had to hazard a guess, it would be the Twilight's View Tavern. That's the largest.
Makes sense.
And I know the proprietor, the owner. He likes to be known as either Barkeep or Duncan. He's a good man. He's got his heart in the right place. Well, I'll have someone escort you back to your group. And then my top advisors can return back to here. But only when you are back with your group safely.
Unless anyone else has any business, any other questions.
I'll know where to find you.
All right.
So, as all of you take your leave and walk out, is there anything you wish to discuss on the way back being escorted?
No, I'll wait until we're in private.
Okay. So you get brought back, and you see a tall woman speaking with Mason. She seems to be wearing heels of some kind, and is wearing what looks like a noblewoman's dress. Not regal, but definitely practical. It's a light lavender with what looks like gold thread around the edges. Long black raven hair, very similar to Malcolm's, and as she turns around as Mason points all of you out, she goes, "Ah, you must be the speakers that I was told about, the ones that I will be interacting with as I get all of your people settled. But first off, the handoff, and nods to the advisors as you have been returned to your group, and the guards who escorted you turn around and go back to the Iron Wall, as do the advisors. My name is Adriana von Karsten, and I believe you met my brother. So that means you passed the vetting process, which is great. It's nice to have some new faces, however temporary. I am the stewardess of Drakhum, and the one who is the point of contact for new interactions when Alderman Simon Holt is not available. He should be available tomorrow. He's in a very heated land debate with a landowner nearby. So he should be available tomorrow to answer any questions, as well as if you wish to know more about the surrounding areas and what's happened, because obviously we are all very curious about your exploits in the north. But first off, how about some warm food, some cold, stiff drinks, and an actual feathered pillow for the night?
Well,
And you
Adriana,
see,
that sounds lovely.
you get every single eyes looking at all of you from the group as if eagerly saying, please say yes, in a moment of, like, instinctive. And she looks at you going, oh. Well, if you follow me to the Twilight's View, I can introduce you all to Duncan, and I believe rooms have already been set up while you have been talking on the way there and the way back. Right then, if all of you will follow me, your wagons and horses will be placed in the rusted stables for the night. They will be well looked after. I shall see to that personally.
That's so kind of you.
Well, I wouldn't be much of a stewardess if I didn't know the ins and outs of newcomers.
It's still really appreciated.
Well, thank you. It's nice to know that people haven't lost manners. As she quickly turns around and leads everyone to the Twilight View. Anything you wish to share, Daisy, on your thoughts right now?
Nope, there's somebody there. Somebody I don't know.
There's a stranger present.
I'm referring to Robin, if Robin would like to share anything with the group.
No. No.
Okay.
No, I'm just very curious about the very sweet way James is working right now, but...
What?
Oh, come on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Kitty's allowing him to be sweet because he's like, he's after her for a little fun at some point. That's all Kitty's thinking. Not gonna move in on what he's got going on there.
I literally have this idea of, like, if she turns me down, like, oh, sorry, I'm only interested in women, I'm just like, Kitty, you're up.
I mean, Kitty has done the, because both of them look similar, Kitty has done the up and down, which I'm sure James has both done.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I can't show you what she looks like.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Wait, no, first, how much panic will I have?
A lot.
You'll have a lot no matter what.
No.
Honey,
There's some that I can actually live.
Maybe not this one.
Yeah, Kitty's looked up and down. I mean, Kitty looks everyone up and down, no matter what they look like.
So you
That
can definitely
is one-
see, you can definitely see the family resemblance with Malcolm and Adriana.
I'm gonna
As
have
we're-
to stop looking at that picture.
As we follow behind, Kitty just goes, "Are you guys twins, or are you just?"
We are non-identical twins. Yes.
Oh,
I assume you are referring to my brother.
yeah. It was just the family resemblance is quite striking.
Well, I'll be sure that he will be made aware of that, and his wife.
Yes, he did say he had a partner.
Yes, he does.
What about you, Adriana? You spoken for?
Well, that would be telling, sir.
You can call me James.
James. Last name.
Well, that would be telling, wouldn't it?
Fair enough. Well, then tell me, James. You seem to be spoken for.
Spoken for in a sense that I am in a relationship, but not in that it is an exclusive relationship.
Noted.
Dabble.
Here we are. And you look at this, what looks like a townhouse. Like, it's a big-looking Victorian-styled, like, large townhouse. What looks like a water wheel on the side, and as you get looking around, you realize it's on a fresh water stream as the water's like rotating around on the water wheel. And the symbol on top of this very beautiful dark oaken door that looks like it's been purposely burnt for like added like smoky effect is what looks like the view of a night sky with stars in it. Acid etched out of metal. So it has a sense of depth and detailing. And as you walk in, it's quiet in there, and you gather people have been transferred to a different tavern or transferred to a different abode to... Yes, Daisy.
Just as a quick note, as we're walking through the town, I am absolutely keeping my eye on everything that I see that is guards. Anyone that looks like they are literally just potentially a threat.
Well,
I'm trying to gauge how dangerous this town could be for us.
There is a heavy presence of guards, and you also notice above there are hooded individuals with bows that are just like sitting there waiting in shadows, and you realize that this is a very well guarded place, and it has been attacked by roving feral cannibals, monsters, and whatnot. It would be a high reaction.
Also trying to gauge how they are watching us. Like, are they watching us as a threat, or are they watching us as a potential friend, or are they watching us as bones to be picked clean?
They're looking at you with potential curiosity.
Okay.
It's more of a wanting to understand.
Yeah.
The guards themselves, for lack of a better term, are guarded just by their own nature being military based. But there is definitely a veneer, a lean as your group and company walks by. Some of the children are kept closer by their mothers. Gorth is definitely keeping up the rear, and he's sort of like doing the same thing, but he's way more overt about it. Of like, I want you to know that I'm watching you, even though you're way more heavily armored than I am. As Gorth being Gorth. Mason looks slightly more uncomfortable just because he's in a town where he prefers to be out in the wilds. Argos, your new Bloodhunter companion who's been with you for quite a while at this point, is more or less gauging armaments and gauging weaponry, and also clocks the Eagle Eye archers that are above.
That answers the question. If they are looking at us as something they can, they know they can probably handle us. They just don't seem to want to just do anything to us. That's what she was scared of.
Yeah, you gather it's less that they could handle you. It's more like they're really hoping they don't have to.
Yeah.
They seem much more defense-oriented people.
Yeah.
Mm.
Not to say they can't go offensive. They are just hoping and hoping and hoping and hoping that...
Yeah, I was just kind of worried that they were like, oh, we are stronger, we are a bigger force, we can take them down and just take whatever they've got and just build on our own town. Like
yeah,
that.
it doesn't seem to be like that for them.
Alright, perfect.
As you see, she goes, how about, Sir James, how about you come with me inside and I can introduce you to Mrs. Duncan?
Sounds perfect. Please lead the way.
Of course. And she leads you inside. The inside is very homely, halfling design by the looks of things. Like it's designed for comfort, and it's big enough that you gather it could house over 250 people easily. in here, because there are upstairs, there are downstairs. There seems to be like a dartboard area. What looks like charades, like a performance like stand there as well. Each one of the tables can house up to 5 people each, which gives you a sense of scale of how. And some of the chairs seem to be foldable in a way that looks like they can be smaller or larger, taller, shorter, depending on the size of the person. The bar itself is one of the most extravagant and elegant dwarven designed bars you have ever seen in your entire life. Like, it is a pure white and checkered, speckled, marbled, like, bar stand. The stools themselves are mahogany and rock, but comfortable looking. There's this, like, beautiful iron bar that goes all the way across, that's inlaid with dwarven runes and designs, that is known for dwarven artistry when it comes to breweries. At least what you've heard in legend. And standing there, greeting you, is Duncan. Now, Duncan appears a bit leaner, a bit lither. He looks like an individual who's lived a bit. He has, like, what I can only describe as like a Phantom of the Opera style mask on the side of his face. Long, white, withered hair. And what looks like a long, going from outside the mask, is a long stitch that goes past his Adam's apple and down into his shirt. And I'll put a side shot of what he looks like. Well, it's without his mask, but to give you an understanding, like, just picture a mask over one side of his face. And that's what you see, James. So he looks withered, he looks older. But part of him looks very stitched. Like, there's a stitch that goes out from one corner of the mouth, and you see that part of the neck is a different color. Like, a bit more yellowy, a bit more elven looking than the rest of the human expression. Well, good afternoon to you, sir. I take it you're a newcomer.
That I am. Name's James. You must be Duncan.
I am indeed. Welcome to the Twilight's View. I've been told that I've got 80 plus coming in, so I've made sure that there's enough rooms, hot baths are being set, make sure everything's clean. Additionally, on top of that, Barclay's in the back. They're sorting out food for everyone. I hope everyone's hungry, because people here like to eat, so I make sure everyone stays fed.
Yeah, I would say the our group's fairly hungry.
That's good. And he twitches, like, involuntarily.
I'm just gonna do my best to not react to it. Out of
And
politeness.
He then goes, "You're not the first to try and do the overly focused thing, lad. Don't worry. Look, I've been here for a month. People kind of have a few questions about me. I'm from Aceburn originally. So that could kind of, I mean, I've heard rumors travel fast in this town. I mean, there's nearly 10,000 people here, give or take. But rumors travel fast, especially new ones. So if you're from the north, it's kind of understandable of just staring. It's fine."
Let me just cut right to it then. What manner of beast did you encounter?
Honestly, I think that's the first time I've been asked that question.
Oh,
Nope.
I've encountered my fair share.
Well, I can honestly say, no beast. And he reaches up to grab the mask, and you see Adriana looks at him a bit worried, and he kind of goes, it's fine, and pulls it down, and you see a half-orc's stitched
Fascinating.
face.
Kitty leans forward. Fascinating.
I'm what you call an arisen. I was well, and he unbuttons his shirt and opens it, and you see glowing blue arcane magic underneath his ribcage. And you just see part of what looks like a drow stitched on his left arm, and you realise that it's a human arm, and you can't tell how far it goes in. And he kind of like buttons himself back up. I was stitched and bludgeoned back to life, kind of thing.
You didn't need to put it back up. It's quite fascinating.
Well, I appreciate that we just met, so at least buy me a drink first.
Oh, I can definitely do that.
Mm-hmm. Look, point being, the one thing they haven't changed, and you do see it's like a grimace on that side of the face with missing an eye, but it's definitely half orc in complexion. And he puts the mask back on. It unnerves the children when I don't have the mask on, so yeah, I prefer to keep it on. I'm made of 42 different individuals, so some of my organs are completely different. I think I have a chimera's heart that replaced my one that I think I had at one point. Well, and he pulls the glove, his right hand that you didn't notice was, and it's a Thrykeen, like, carapace insectoid hand.
Well,
this might be rude to ask. Do you know what your original form was?
Judging by most of my face, human. Let's just say that, I was grafted and created to fight. To, fight the battles that ancient liches didn't want to fight once upon a time, and I was part of the group that, well, a group of whites and arisen, like myself, and Wolfen, rose up in Aceburn and destroyed our masters, quote unquote, and took the city over. And within a month, I found myself here, not wanting to be a weapon of war anymore. I wanted something different.
You and I need to have a conversation of much.
He did tell you to buy him a drink first, Kitty.
Yeah, that too, but
I think if you want that conversation, it's gonna have to be more than a drink.
So we got James. Your name's Kitty by default. You are pointing at you, Daisy.
Daisy.
Pleasure. And you looking at Yaya.
She just nods at him.
That's Yaya. She's a bit weird.
You both spoke over each other.
That was like so perfectly timed.
It was so good.
Hey, I mean, we're getting some good timings out here every now and then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so long as you're here, you are my guests, paid by the crown, as it were. So room and board is paid for.
Well, it's very kind of you, Duncan.
Well, the policy of treat travelers well is kept to a very high standard here, even in this establishment. Because, as far as I'm concerned, all we got is each other at this point.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, well, I'll make... Well, while you're all here, I'll be treating you as my guests. So we'll go. How about we start with that then?
Sounds good to me.
Wonderful. And as everyone gets situated, Duncan meets each of the people individually, greets them, says hello. meet standers, and both of them kind of give each other a look of like, okay, there's an understanding here. What one wilderness person to another type deal. Sees Argos and goes, "It's been a while since we've had one of your kin in here." And Argos goes, "I'm just traveling with the group, make sure everyone stays safe." "Well, you're not going to do any hemocraft in my establishment, are you?" And Argos goes, "Not if I can help it." Alright, well... Hey. And as drinks get had, Barkley is a bugbear. And he comes out with various different, like, massive plates of, like, lamb and roasted vegetables, potatoes with seasoning on them, mashed potatoes, scrambled eggs, sausages, bacon, boiled mushrooms, grilled mushrooms, mushrooms with garlic and parsley, which some of you haven't had for a while. Honey roasted carrots, honey roasted parsnips. Like, it's like breakfast foods, lunch foods, roasts. A few stews get brought out, and it's like a buffet. And you see people are just like looking at all of you like, can we?
I'm just gonna say one thing. What are y'all waiting for permission for? Just freaking eat already.
Well, to be fair, the last place that served food, the food was not
Fair.
safe.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Well,
I'm gonna take a bite of food, just to show that I'm assuming that nothing happens.
No, nothing happens. It's
make a Constitution saving throw.
Well, no. Here's a question. What do you go for? There's like every single type of like variation of food you can think of on this buffet table.
Let me get something that is well seasoned. I feel like we've probably had a lot of bland stuff on the road.
Yeah. So you basically look at this beautiful, the equivalent of a tomahawk steak.
Yeah.
And it looks seasoned through and through. You use a knife and Barkley hands you a steak knife, just that way it's easier for you to cut it. And he's staring with like almost like terrified anticipation, hoping he did well.
Oh.
God.
You gather he's the head chef of this establishment, and given it's a town hall, you gather there's maybe like 25 to 75 staff at any one time. And you gather by the way that he's dressed, and he's dressed in a head chef's outfit with a literal like chef's hat. For a bugbear who's standing at like 9'5".
Can I try to, without being too obvious about it, cast detect poison?
Yeah, you can do that. Roll me a sleight of hand check to start with.
Does you get any help with the fact that all attention is focused on me?
Yeah, you get advantage for that.
Thank you. Thank God for advantage. That is a total of a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Yep, you silently cast detect poison and disease. Nothing.
I just kind of make eye contact with James and just give him a little quick, like, we're at least safe from that.
Okay. So you cut into this ribeye, and it's a tender, caramelized with butter, and sauteed as well. It's not well done, it's medium rare, and it cuts away from... It's almost like brisket based. Like, it just cuts away with, like, ease.
You don't really need the steak knife, it more just kind of falls off.
Yeah, you literally, like, almost like a cake, you could just do this with the fork and it would come through.
Yeah.
And you take a bite, and there is chili flakes and black peppercorns and sea salt, like actual sea salt from the rivers. And there is parsley and oregano and sage and tarragon. Gives it like kind of like almost like a semi-curry flavor that actually works. It's like a nice aftertaste.
James has that has the Ratatouille moment.
Yeah, like
flashing back to when he was a kid And like
Yeah.
his dad's like, prepped as a butcher, prepped to kind of cut a meat before and everything else.
And it's like one of those like dreaming to have one of those cuts of meat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just staring down at this tomahawk steak. Here's a question: How much is James resisting the urge just to devour the damn thing?
As soon as he comes back from that like flashback,
Yep.
he immediately just scarfs it down.
Yeah, and the minute you do that, everyone just joins in, grabbing plates of food and grabbing all that, and you see the bugbear just like, like almost like scrapes a good foot to like almost relaxing. I'm like, okay, everyone's eating the food, everyone likes the food, okay. Kind of moment, and like gives looks like a sense of pride as he like twirls what looks like a very portly mustache of like fur as he kind of like twists it and like and like goes back to the kitchen. That you get more smells of desserts being made. Like you gather this is like one course of like these guys have got the food, and you realize that a town that's got 10,000 needs well amount of like large stocks of like good living space to grow food, and they seem to have it in spades essentially, which you probably, as some of you look over at Kitty, you get the sense of where that fertile soil may have come from, with druid groves that were nearby before the mountains became the mountains. Druids kept lands fertile and healthy for a long time, and that seems to be still the case here. Given that they are still like 3 to 4 days away from the mountain range, the fact that it's reached this far.
Kitty's taking some vegetables because she finally gets a purely vegetarian meal, which she's very happy about, and goes to the bar and sits down.
Okay.
Not to a table.
To nearby Duncan, I take it.
She's also making sure that nobody else other than the bartender's kind of around and chosen that area.
You see a few like waiters come out, and they're eager to try and just like feed everyone. You see a shadow goblin, which is rare sight. Like there are goblins running around. This one shadow goblin's like deep, almost looks like a drow in goblin form. So the white hair, the purplish skin, the purple eyes, just going back and forth, and has these like black seeds that he drops on the ground, and a keg appears and pours ale for everyone. Well, the people who want it, at least. And you see Duncan is just there, and he just chuckles as he's cleaning a tankard. That's Shadow Goblin magic. They're quite adept at allowing people to try ale when ale's not available.
I need to head to where you came from.
You see he stops at that point. Well, Aceburn's quite far to the west. It's a good month and a half of travel by foot, a little bit less by horse. Why'd you need to head that way? I'm not saying it's dangerous. I'm just curious.
You and I might have some things in common.
Is that right?
I was brought to the realm when I was a small child. As a result of a hag and some liches.
It's not the first time I've heard of Hexborn coming through. Well, at least around that area.
I need to know what I'm walking into, and if you at some point don't mind sharing, I'd really appreciate it.
No, to be fair, it's not exactly private knowledge. I can share it right now if you'd like.
She looks back. Is Yaya, Daisy, and James all looking happy and content?
Good question. Are they?
I'll say Daisy isn't. She is feeling very out of place. And just kind of like her field of vision is focused on the exit. And she's continuously, and Kitty would probably recognize this more than anyone else, but she's continuously kind of like gauging like how fast can I get out of here, and in her mind running through the full escape route of getting out of town. She's very uncomfortable, and she's not eaten anything despite, giving the all clear of it not being poisoned or anything. She's got food on her plate and she's just moving it around. She's very ill at ease. And I think after about 10 minutes, she just kind of like excuses herself and goes outside to just breathe in fresh air and be away from people.
Okay.
Especially in a room. In the outdoors, in camp, it was a lot of people, but the space didn't feel confined, so it didn't feel as crowded. But right now, it feels extremely crowded, so she's just kind of like, after 10 minutes of forcing herself to be there, she's just getting up and walking to the exit of the inn, the tavern, and just kind of like moving out and just disappearing.
Okay. James?
James, I would say is eating fully still. Still dry. He's starting to pace himself now, trying not to gorge. But he's also kind of on the lookout for Adriana, looking around to see if he can't flag her down at some point, making sure she hasn't left yet.
She hasn't. You gather her job right now is to make sure everyone is secure and safe, and also equally, being there so when the time is right, she can relay to the alderman what's going on. So she's by the bar, she's talking to people, asking questions, interacting, being very social. But every now and then she does look over at you with the look of like, I know you're flagging me down, I'll be there when I can.
Yeah, I would say that's probably James then. Just constantly kind of checking, just make sure she's still present, and then going back to eating and kind of keep looking.
And Yaya?
Yaya will have sent Idris outside with the instructions to look around the town. Specifically for Idris to see if he can spot anything that they're trying to hide from us.
Okay.
Her attention will be constantly flickering between her looking inside the town and using Idris's senses as he flies around. She's naturally gone nowhere near any of the food or drink, and she's basically standing in the corner watching everything that's going on. She's wired completely. Every single one of her senses is on overload, and it's almost as if she's waiting for something to happen.
To be fair, you're not the only one. I'll say that much.
Though she is exuding a sense of confidence that anything that goes down in this city, she will deal with.
Okay.
Excessively.
Right.
Kitty will, when she sees Daisy walk outside, will look to Mason and she'll just eye the door. She'll walk over to James, grab his plate.
He just nods and
says,
just follows.
She grabs James's plate and says, "How about you come up with me? We got someone to talk to, and the two of us are the only ones paying attention. But if you sit on the other side of me, you get a better angle of her. And she'll definitely know where you are. You can listen, and you can flirt." How do you feel about that? Because she's found peace.
It works for me.
All right. So I put him on the other side where he has a better angle of her.
All right.
To
And
be
then,
fair, I wasn't necessarily ogling her, as more just keeping an eye on her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kitty's
Sure,
also trying to
James.
be a slight wingman here. She's like
Okay.
putting you where you need to be because she's like, that's where I'd rather sit. So
Okay.
she puts you there and she goes, so, our friend here, do you remember the fact that I need to head to that town to deal with a little bit of a contract issue with the liches?
I do.
Our friend here has come from that town.
Oh.
Well, it's less of a town and more of a major capital city. Something that can
Oh.
house over millions of people.
Wonderful.
Well, I mean, it's known as the City of the Lost. Well, it's trying to change that slogan, but let's put it this way: it was once an undead city, like a council of liches and archliches ruled there with one of the worst tyrannical fish you can think of. Their patron of sorts was a god of death at one point, but that god was slain during the War of Tears, and then the myself included rose up and slew the liches. So now it's not great, but it's another group called the Grey Hand. They are sharers of knowledge, breakers of change, chain keepers of change and breakers of chains. They are equally a group of ancient undead individuals who decided to use their immortality for a better use.
What
For lack of a
have
better term, they are also liches, and they see the world very, very differently. But they perceive things very differently. They don't pull souls out of people's bodies. They don't eat people. How they keep sustained, I don't know. But they've sworn off killing others to increase their life.
what happened to the 4 ancient liches, the factories?
Burn to the ground.
All the factories. All
Yeah,
of them.
all of them. And many others sorts of that. But that being said, the records are still there. The information is still there. But to access that kind of information, you'd have to go through the Grey Hand.
And what can you tell me about the Grey Hand? I just need out of this little contract deal I got to get out of it.
Well, when it comes to hag deals, you'd have to talk to the hag that made it. I don't know much about that. But when it comes to liches who've made a contract, the Grey Hand know ancient esoteric magic that I couldn't even understand for the life of me, or the unlife of me. And they do their best to help where they believe their help is needed. They don't do anything without informing the others, and if the cause is just and right, they do everything in their power to help someone. And given that they're 5 very powerful archliches that should have taken over the continent at this point, the fact they're willing to help people, and they choose to help people, says a lot.
Safe would it be for some of us living folk wander into that town, city?
Well, there's living people there. It's just there's also ghosts, specters, banshees, white skulls, ghast, sentient whites, giant bone golems that walk around, giant hordes of zombies that are that tried to eat the living while there, and they are now doing what's known as community service.
Oh. Well, I mean,
There's also dread druids in the surrounding areas as well, as far as I'm aware. They specialize in decay, harvest, spores, mushrooms, other fungal types. They tend to keep to themselves, but they converse with the Grey Hand a lot. Druidic magic versus arcane magic is better to find a symbiosis between the two, hence the long conversations. But getting there is not the problem. It's actually quite. All you have to do is follow the green aura borealises once you get past Dukaran, a singular mountain where the Dukaran goblins reside. They're welcoming folk. They allow people to stay there. Well, they allowed me to stay. They don't care who you are or what your past is. They just care about if you need shelter, if you need food, if you need drink, if you need water. They care a great deal. And Dukara means feral, and they basically do everything to be but feral. And that includes full-blooded orcs and giants and other such communities. They all reside in this big fucking mountain. Doesn't rival the mountains that are now there, but for the time it was one of the largest. Also, Duergar reside there as well. And if you want to get into the Undercroft or the Underdark, there's usually a way to get in. To go communicate with the Drow.
we've found our ways under the soil before. I just need to talk to the right creature.
Well, that's pretty easy to do, but that's normally between the month and a month and a half. There's usually a good stop point, because there's only so much food you can carry, and so much drink you can carry, so much water you can carry, and obviously beasts of burden need to rest, and that's normally a good pausing point. And normally after that, you just have to follow the as bad as it is, the eerie green borealis towards Aceburn. All eerie green borealises travel over 100 miles, and you'll be able to follow them to the city.
Is it full of, you said undead, which is, I mean, the pretty undead are often very friendly, I find, but, zombies, undead, alright. Do any of these banshee folk or things, are they all from this realm, or are they just some other realm?
Yes and no, as far as I'm aware. I mean, I can only speak for myself. Most, I believe, come from the Nether Realm, or the Negative Plane, or stuff like that. Like, most undead tend to reside in a space a second out of time. They tend just to appear and disappear, almost like a step, almost like getting on a different carriage and then moving on. There was
undead. All right.
Yeah, there was a Emir, God of the Lost, and also known as the Shepherd. He was the one that liberated us before disappearing.
Who was the god before? You said the death god that passed in the war?
Yeah, can't remember his name for the life of me, but apparently that's a normal thing. If a god dies when they're not meant to, they get forgotten. I am aware of the legend of Amelia Earhart, who beheaded him. A normal human woman. Who'd have thought? Decapitating a god with a silver blade. In those mountains, pointing actually out one of the windows to the mountains. First time ever a mortal took on a god and won. Others have tried and lost. I don't know how she won, but as far as I'm aware, she's still around.
Is she still a mortal?
I've heard rumors that she's still mortal. I've heard rumors that she ascended to a demigod level status. I've heard rumors that she became immortal and went far, 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 far north. Like beyond into the frozen regions level north. But it's all speculation. I mean, she among 3 others vanished, and they had these powerful weapons that defied everything. As far as I'm aware, they're also around, but beyond that,
So that sounds like there's no portal to the Shadow Deep, so that's good.
well, I mean, not in the city, no. There is the Undercroft Forest. It's called that because of a supposed portal that leads to somewhere else, somewhere deep within those forests, and that's where the Druid Groves reside, kind of maintaining that portal, make sure it doesn't go out of whack.
I'm not too sure most of you are going to want to be heading there with me then, by the sounds of it.
I do think we have a duty to escort our people to the Elven City before we do anything else.
That's a definite first, because they cannot be going to this area.
Mm-mm. Plus, it would sidetrack them entirely to do so.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's directly west from this city. If you head into the Elven cities, it's directly south.
How far is the Elven Cities from here?
You talking trade route? You're talking trying to get there fast?
I'm assuming the trade route would be the safest option.
It would be. Normally it's guarded by patrols of Elven cavalry. So yeah, it'd be the safest. Try and get there fast, you go directly, and that... You'd be more likely to come against a manticore than deal with anything else.
What are we looking at travel time for both of them?
4 months trade route, 2 months fast. But the trade routes, you meet up with much larger convoys. You basically become almost like a 300 to 400 group with mini sentries guarding the surrounding areas. So it's not like you can...
Crazy.
Look, I'm sorry, but that's what I've been told from elven traders who have stayed at my abode, of how long they got to go back and missing their families. And
Yeah.
Kitty, this may not be what you want to hear, but our best option may be sending the refugees ahead on the trade route. It'd be the safest option. They'd meet up with their convoys. They'd have sentries. It would take a long time, but they would get there.
It would get there, and it'd be safe for them, and... I mean, Daisy would be happier to be away from that amount of people, because I don't think she'd do too well. I just would feel like I was letting them down by not taking them to the Elven City.
Oh, we gotta decide how much we trust the capabilities of those that we leave behind.
I suppose I can check with Mary and see if she can find someone else who can help heal them.
We could potentially hire guards from this city as well to escort them.
well, I don't know much about the guard, but I know there's a mercenary guild.
Oh.
Could
Well,
hire
that
some
might work.
mercenaries.
Well, let's put it this way: they're known as the Golden Capes. They're once you strike a deal with them, they follow it to the letter. They have a code of honor that way. It's how I don't know if you noticed, but those archers on the roofs,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be them. They're extremely stealthy, and they, I mean, it's an entire mercenary group of wood elves, so they know what they're doing.
They'd know the route best, too.
They would.
Do you think we could talk Yaya into leaving them?
That I'm not sure, because that's her whole people group, is where they're
I
heading.
know. I know. All right.
But I think that's our best option, is hiring mercenary guards.
I mean, if I will say this, there's powerful magical capabilities in the Elven Kingdoms, so you could. And looked over at Adrian. At that point, it like leans in almost conspiratorially. I heard they have teleportation circles that go to other cities, so you might be able to convince them to take you. Favor for a favor kind of deal.
What favor would you like?
Oh, we're just having a conversation. I'm referring to talking to the High Elven King and Queen. Because
Talking about using their teleportation circle to get to Aceburn.
Well, I mean, at least the teleportation circle, from my understanding, from what Elven soldiers have said, who have escorted there and back, and people talk when they drink, but people talk anyway because it's people to talk to. The teleportation circle apparently takes people or supplies when trying to reconstitute Aceburn to an outpost at least a good day's travel away from the city. I never saw it because I walked here. But between 4 months traveling south or a month and a half traveling west, to travel all the way south and having to come back all the way back here, it's almost like practically a year.
Would Aceburn have a teleportation circle?
Not since the revolt, but like I said, the teleportation circle was designed for just outside the city, and from my understanding, it's a mega teleportation circle, so it's designed to carry normal teleportation circles. From my understanding, a month ago, was 10 people only. That's normally how it works, but these ones apparently can carry hundreds of individuals there and back.
Do you think, does that land closer to those, to what we call spore druids, which is what I am?
You a dread druid?
A spore
Aye.
druid. Well,
You're far from your grove.
no, this is where my grove was. I was in that hill was a hill before, now it's 2 hills and mountains. This is where I was.
Oh. Well, as far as I'm aware, it was only Moon, Land, and Wildfire druids that resided there for a while. At least that's what I heard.
I was here on my own. I tried to learn other crafts, but I kind of had accidents and things just never turned out quite right.
Well, I'll say this: if you went to Elven Kingdom and then teleported there, it'd be like another 2 days of travel northeast towards the Undercroft forests. But I tell you, by the time you got there, they would probably be aware of you. And so long as you don't bring ill will, as far as I remember, they're pretty cordial. Guarded, but cordial.
I put the keys up on the plate so that if he's hungry, he can eat as we're talking. All right. So she's not expecting a reaction. She's like, he should be fine with this. I'll just do this. All right. So
he just looks at the keys and goes, okay.
She figures he'll eat whatever crumbs are on James's plate if he wants meat or if he wants vegetables. Like he's just.
She's like, have the bones.
Yeah, like she's figuring he'll be happy. He's got choices.
All right.
So what are we thinking, James? Like, do we go there? Maybe we need to talk to Yaya and Daisy. I mean, Daisy, we already know, does not like crowds. but
I think you said it's a how many days journey to get to Aceburn?
To get Aceburn from here is about a month and a half. To get to the Elven Kingdoms, 4 months by trade route, and then instantaneous to get to the day outside of the city.
And right now we're going off of a rumor of a teleportation circle.
I mean, unfortunately, yeah, but there's only so much you can do. But that being said, people talk, especially people who want to give other people hope.
If we take the route down to the Elven City, dangerous route 2 months, safe route 4 months. If we get there and there's no teleportation circle, we're looking at doubling the time to head back here, and then an extra month and a half or so to get to Aceburn from here. But if we divide the group, we send the refugees along with the main council members to the Elven City via the trade routes, they'd get there in 4 months' time. So no matter what, they get there in 4 months. And then we can head to Aceburn. And then, if there is a teleportation circle, we're able to do our business in Aceburn and teleport to the Elven City, and we can meet the refugees there. If there's not, then we've got travel ahead of us, but the refugees will be safe.
I mean, it'd be handy to have. I mean, Yaya with us, because she seems to have a way sometimes of charming people, even though I know it's quite direct. So.
That is a thing of being able to convince Yaya about this.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out if she'd even want to talk to those greyhounds. I mean, I'm really the only one that needs to go there. I'm the only one who's got a contract over their head there.
Well,
I'd understand if none of you want to go, because it sounds like it's quite the town, and I'm the one who's quite used to dead folk and dead things, and myself, I turn into a bit of a ghost myself, so.
Yes, but I have a bit of an inkling that a certain contract holder of mine might be interested in the city of those avoiding death.
That
So
he might be.
It's more me getting ahead of it right now.
He is the one who told us about the contract, so.
It could just be his way of directing us.
He might also have his hands into wanting something as well.
More than likely.
There is a god who can convince Daisy to do things from time to time. I highly doubt she wants to have anything to do with that town, though.
If there is a teleportation circle near Aceburn, then we will get there ahead of the refugees, and Yaya will be able to see her people even faster. However, we do have to convince her to trust the safety of what she sees now as her people in the hands of a mercenary guild.
Yeah. I know your god has something seeming to want to do there, but thank God that, you spent that time with seems to have possibly ties to that town too, given that it's a undead town and that gentleman didn't he seemed to be the god of some people that are quite, well, not quite living.
Okay, we're using that god too much. I'm losing track of which one we're talking about now.
The vampire god that you really had a
Oh,
lovely
okay.
time with.
Well, I do want to set the record straight. My contract holder is not my god. I do
I
want
know
that
he's not
set.
your, no. All right, fine, but he's a lovely god.
He holds my contract.
Well, that he does. All right, so no, Daisy, I referred her god because that god seems to have a liking to her. The god of the werewolves.
Vampire might be interested in the city of
Yes.
undead as well.
So I think that God and Yaya have some things going on. Not like the thing you had going on, but they have other things.
I think we need to have a conversation as a
Yeah.
group alongside the council members. And we need to figure out what the plan is going forward. And hell, maybe some of them want to stay in this town. Some of them may not want to make the journey.
We do have some members that are not necessarily from the elven towns that have just come to our group for safety in numbers, so they might not want to head to an elven city.
They may not want to spend another 4 months on the road.
Some of them are quite tired, so... Alright, we better talk to them. How's your lady friend there doing? Are you,
Well, she's still doing her job. She's still greeting, socializing, and so on and so forth.
You look over and she's staring directly at both of you.
I'm just gonna raise a drink up at her.
She raises a goblet.
I do not raise a drink up. I raise, I hate to say this, but I raise what looks like a cigarette up. That's what I have.
And she just takes a long sip of the goblet.
We can have the discussion in the morning. When everyone's rested, bellies are full. I think that would be best.
I'm sure that's what you're going to call rest, but...
I speak more for the group of refugees.
Yes, but I don't think you're going to be getting the rest you were talking about.
I'm used to it.
That you are.
So, while you two are having this discussion, Daisy, you went outside.
Why? Why me?
Well, because it's turned into dusk and into night. You walk outside and you see a starry lit sky above. There are a few guards who walk by, not close to you. They're actually on the other side of the cobblestone road. They give you a polite nod and just keep going. They don't get close enough to invade what you see as your personal space.
I try to find either an alleyway or just like a little nook somewhere that's kind of constricting almost if you were to step in there.
Okay.
And just stepping in there. And just before I left, I grabbed the deck of oracles.
Okay. You do find an alleyway.
All right. I just kind of duck in, hide.
So you managed to make it effectively 3 blocks away from the tavern. Well, the town hall, basically. It's not compact, and it leads off into what you see as like a small little garden area.
Does it look like it's a private garden or like more of a park situation?
Like a public allotment.
Right. I'll step in there. and just kind of like find a place that is very secluded and not very visible from wherever anyone might approach.
Okay.
And I sit down and I just kind of grab the deck of oracles, just kind of flip it over in my hands, just looking at it. And I sit back, lay it out in front of me, not really drawing it, not really using it, but just lay it out in front of me, just looking at it. I am a special kind of idiot. And I think for about 10 minutes, just stare at the deck, not doing anything. And, well, just carefully feeling into, because I'm attuned to it, carefully feeling into that attunement, trying not to activate anything with it, but just kind of trying to catch a vibe from the item, so to speak.
Because you're attuned to it, you don't need to roll for anything. You get a sense of they don't have an intention until you give them one. Yes, they've been usurped in the past, but that was more to do with someone who has greater manipulation over fate than most.
Hold on. Let me just double check something real quick. I'm not even trying to get any predictions or anything out of it, but I do start laying it out and start basically the divination ritual that's in there. And just lay it out, not activate it yet, just making the whole ritual, the whole preparation. I just look at them and just think of the bad look I've had with them, the good look I've had with them. And as I'm kind of leaning into the, because I was laying it out without specific intent or a specific question in mind, I'm just kind of retouching that connection and trying to see if the cards are doing anything at that point in time, or if they're just still open for the intention of the question.
For lack of a better term, it's hard to gauge a vibe of a magical item. But there seems to be almost like, if it was equate to anything that your mind can, like, deduce, it would be anticipation. Like, it's hanging on the want for an intent.
At that point, I think I will dive in with an intent.
Okay.
And it is something that she told James initially she couldn't do with these cards, or at least she didn't think she could do. Which was when he was asking about his daughter. She's not focusing on his daughter, but she is focusing on a ex-fiance. Not with the question of is he alive, is he dead, but just focusing in on him as the person she knew, as the things that happened on certain days, certain nights. And just either trying to jumpstart the memories that she has suppressed for so long that she can't actively even access them, or trying to find whatever happened that one night. More specifically, but she will take any kind of information she can get about the whole situation that was that guy.
You delve back into your time with Tarmin. His smile that captured you and allured you. His sun-bleached curls, his warm honey brown eyes. How he acted. What he did. How he portrayed himself one way and then was completely different in another. Sort of conflicting emotions from where you were then and in hindsight where you are now. Two very different, distinct people. It's almost like a mirror, like seeing something completely different to what you are now and who you are now. Going through those memories over and over and over, you feel a ping, like a heartbeat, a tug. You are aware of the concept of a spirit, the concept of a soul. I mean, ghosts exist, specters exist, wights, things that are soulless, and souls that are in between, or not yet ready to move on, or confused of if they're dead or not. But everyone has a soul. Everyone has a center. Everyone has a spirit that is them in the spirit world. This is not that thread. This is on this plane of existence. It's strong, taut, very much alive. Where you cannot say. It's murky on what happened. It's strong, you know it's there, but when the Hellgate opened nearby, and when you and him were separated, it's a bit fuzzy. As if something is blocking that kind of like, if you're trying to go forward to see what happened, there's only so much of divination ritual can give you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're being blocked, it's more just like the intent you have is not really focused on something that you don't know.
Yep.
But the most it gives you is the definitive yes that he is still alive.
Diving into it a little bit, trying to gauge, is he the same? And with that, I mean, he was human. Is he still human, or is he
He's
in
still
some
human.
way like a corrupted?
No, he is still human, surprisingly. And it's still pulling north. But it seems the thread is going further than the original location. Like it's going further out.
So he would be, instead of also moving south, he would have been moving either farther north or something like that. From where I lost him, so to speak.
When you lost him, it seemed to be heading more in a western direction. And given where you were, the further west you go, eventually you hit the sea.
Mm-hmm. We're getting the frantic note leafing again. Nope, can't find it. No.
You do recall that when you were looking at the beginning of the mouth of the mountain range, the western thread that you were looking at when it came to the sea was instant death. Westward.
Yeah, that was what I was looking for.
I kind of gathered that. So I just pulled that from my memory of going, I remember saying this way back when.
I remember writing something down, but apparently I didn't.
For the most part, looking that way, when pulling on that particular thread, when it comes to him, it's less death and more of delving in, and it keeps going and going and going till it stops. And almost unspirals itself like it's going through a portal.
Alright.
But it's still human. And there is the smell of cinder block, purified salt, and if holy water had a scent. Portal seems to have a celestial quality to it. You also get... Oh, here's a question. How far deep do you delve? Because you might start picking up other information that you aren't prepared for.
I think consciously she isn't pushing. This is more like sitting on a stream and just letting it kind of guide you. So she's not pushing to go with the stream necessarily to get somewhere faster. She's just letting whatever the cards are doing right now, she's just letting that guide her. And if she picks up anything interesting, she just kind of like lets it pique her interest and just kind of focuses in on it. So like if you're going down a river, you see a beautiful tree, you just kind of like keep your focus on it while you pass it, that sort of thing. So she's not actively pushing to get to set the tree in that moment. She's not pushing to get any information. She's just letting it come and focusing on the things that catch her attention.
What was your mother's favorite thing to bake?
I think for them, just the favorite thing to bake was just a very, very easy, and generally just something that couldn't really go wrong. Like a strawberry cake or a blueberry cake, just a berry cake, basically, just cake with fruit in it.
And would you say that your father was a bit of a pipe smoker?
Just on special occasions.
You get a strong whiff of blueberry cake and the smoke of a particular very strong brand of a bay leaf. Like a passing scent that just goes through.
As that scent kind of hits, that will be the moment where she does actually try to pump the brakes and catch more of that.
So she's trying to follow the scent. Okay.
Yeah. As much as she's curious about Tormund, she's desperate to know about her parents.
It brings you eastward. Stops at a white sandy shore beach, where the scent is the strongest. And as you almost unconsciously reach out, two very strong, very bright threads reach your hands. Alive, unharmed, still the same. Maybe a little bit older now, because it's been a bit. But very much alive. And the beach sort of switches from a northern shoreline to a southern shoreline. You blink and you're standing holding these two threads on a pier, where there's a fishing village. And the two threads go over to a small little hut on the beach. It seems they made it out. And they're alive. And there's a...
And I get...
Well, there's a steaming hot blueberry cake on the windowsill being cooled off.
Do I get the feeling that if I were to head south, I would get there?
From where you are, you'd have to head southeast. And then once you get, as you kind of like look in a general direction of, you get an innate sense of where you are concurrently to where you're technically standing right now. It's very confusing, but you let it flow. Instead of trying to command it to show you, you're like, okay, show me, guide me kind of here. You give the intent the cards are doing the guiding, essentially. Instead of trying to give me specific information, it's like, let it flow like a river. And as you move, you see it goes past miles and miles away, back the direction you are, is a realm of dwarven strongholds that have been overrun. And there's like red haze across that, which you know means danger. But your parents are so out of the way that they're not even registered by this red haze. And then it keeps going. You realize directly heading southeast and then turning east, you would have to go through the mountains to get through. Like, actually have to go through the heart of the mountains of these dwarven strongholds to get to the fishing village on the other side. And judging by how quickly your eyes had to travel and try not to get motion sick during the process, it's about a year of traveling. Because you're on the more western side of the southern continent. And that's like far, far east. And it's hundreds of miles of travel.
Yeah, that's going off the idea of just traveling on foot. the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, but galloping as a horse or flight, it would cut the time, but not by much.
Yeah.
If anything, you could easily get lost along the way or stuff like that. But there's a few ways to get there easily. You are aware that some more powerful druids have a way to tree stride if you see a tree that can house enough to open up. You can basically just get there instantly, almost like a teleportation. And traveling through
I would need that spell first.
Yeah, you would. And that's a 6th level spell. So that's
that'll take a while.
Yeah. But you gather, now that you have the location, and through memory you might be able to pick up, like, down the line, a tree. As you kind of, like, gauge in your head of, like, if I can at least pinpoint a tree that I can travel through, I can get there instantly. Instead of a year traveling, it's seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that that's where vision ends.
No, actually.
Shit! Alright. Hit me.
Well, you look down and you see a wolf pup staring up at you.
Oh, hi!
Its eyes have an eerie resemblance to someone you've met before.
Please tell me it's not a goddess.
More like a messenger. And it's an adorable, like, Siberian husky looking wolf. Just looking up at you, essentially.
I just kinda get on the level with it and just kinda go, oh, hi. Tell me what's going on, buddy.
Its eyes flash, and you get symbols of danger southward. Churning oceans with things writhing in the deep, with their eyes turned towards the coastline. The forest.
The coastline where my parents live?
No, the coastline. Right. The coastline that's just further away from the Elven Kingdom. Their intention is submission instead of conquering. As the puppy's eyes blink and you get that information, as the puppy turns around and begins to disappear. And you realize this is Lapinia's way of conveying information that she's gathered, and seeing as how she has a connection with you in some capacity, she's able to relay stuff that you may want to know on the direction that you potentially might be choosing to head. And that's when it's not almost like you get whiplash back into your material form, you gently follow the river back to your consciousness. So it's less like it's more like you just slowly open your eyes kind of deal.
Alright, yeah. I think throughout most of this, Daisy was crying. It wasn't like crying, but there was like quiet tears streaming down her face. And she always has like pen and paper with her to just write down some things. She writes those things down. And then just she was already leaned back against like a tree or some stone or whatever, and she just kind of slides down even more until she's like curled up, and just lets it all out for a good 10 minutes, just trying to make sense of everything. No, not now. Shush. No. Sorry, that's the alarm for painkillers. But she just kind of lets it just go. She knows there's no one to pretend for. There's no one there that would worry, because she's alone at that point in time. So she's just letting everything out, including the stress of the amount of people that she's been with, the whole everything that is tugging at her for the past few weeks, if not months. And here we are. As a little thing, she just once her tears run dry and she's feeling like the tension of all that emotion that she's been keeping in and fighting for all that time, as she's finally finding some calm in it again, she's deciding that she's not gonna sleep in the tavern, and she makes her way to the I'm gonna have to look back through a lot of notes here because I'm writing again. Right, the rusted stables. And she just finds one of the calmer beasts of burden. It just kind of makes a little nest in their stable to sleep with them.
Okay.
And she tries to at least make sure that she's not spotted by anyone going in, and just getting herself a full first night of sleep by herself.
Okay. Yeah. The hustle and bustle of this tavern makes something in your core rake against this cage. Everyone here is pulsing with something. And it's sickly sweet. Like the first ever wine you ever drank when you were old enough. That thirst, like your mouth is starting to become drier. Almost like cotton is filling your mouth. Each inch of your skin is starting to itch. Your nails are starting to grip tightly into your hands. What do you do?
Does she feel as if this is the beast within her rising again?
It's around about this time that Malcolm walks in. And your beast slinks away a little bit. It calms. And it backs away. Wherever Mason walks, it's being on the opposite side of the cage, away from him. He greets his sister, catches your eye, goes back to having polite conversations with a few people before walking back out. He just wanted to do a check-in. What do you do?
He studies Malcolm and his sister for a moment.
Roll me an insight check.
Yeah, I was about to say, she's looking at them. Are they breathing? Do they have heartbeats?
You get advantage on this particular roll, as you know what to look for.
What was it? Perception or investigation, did you say?
Insight.
Insight, that's the other one. Dealing with dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Their breathing is scripted. You can't recall the last time they blinked normally. Their skin is a little bit too perfect. And Malcolm is almost walking through like a predator picking out a meal.
Dampire or vampire?
Can't tell, even with your roll. The weirdest thing is you saw Malcolm walk through the daylight. He didn't walk in here without an invitation.
Yaya has a look around and sees if she can she'll summon Idris back. And then she'll try and put a link between her, Idris, and James. And the image that she will project will be an image of Malcolm and Adriana. And then she will slightly change their mouths so that they have got vampiric fangs showing.
Okay.
And then she will close the image.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Easy, James.
I just appreciate no explanation. That
Nope.
image just pops in my head and then goes away, and I'm like, that was fucking weird. Anyways.
You know what?
That was a weird... that must be one of them impulsive thoughts that people have.
Yeah.
Yeah, because James clearly doesn't follow those at all.
No. Intrusive, that's the word.
It's going to be an interesting night for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
She will send the same image to Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
And then she will send a second image to both of them, trying to it's like flashing red danger. So no, it's because it's Idris and he can telepathically send emotions. She will send the emotion of warning, danger.
Okay. So for Kitty and James, your adrenaline spikes in the flight capacity at these images. And so both of you hear in your heads from Idris, they're not breathing.
Reply mentally, thank you. Like, you don't have to use him, just words work fine.
My mistress would like to inform the both of you that they are not exactly living individuals.
Neither is our barkeep.
Really?
Yeah, he's stitched together of a lot of stuff.
Oh. Well, they might be vampires, so just be warned.
Yeah, that doesn't mean they're... Granted, I don't trust them, but that doesn't mean they are not worth trust by default. Present
Kitty starts
company
going
included.
through her bags
Okay.
for her vampire dust.
Mm-hmm.
No.
She takes the dust and puts a line of it on the thing that she had that she's starting to crumble up for a pipe to smoke.
Right.
You're gonna fucking smoke vampire dust? What the fuck?
And then
This
she
is
just kind of
gonna-
puts it in the end of
I'm
the pipe
sleeping in the stable right now. I'm fine.
and then looks down at the far end and goes, interesting. And then she looks at the barkeep. So are they all like them? Or it's just the two of them?
Is who like who?
I have a weird question. Do you like have any bottles that might contain other types of substances in this bar?
No.
Interesting. Interesting. James, do you remember how to get in touch with that lovely gentleman that we met?
I didn't get
He
in touch
was,
with him to begin with. You did.
I didn't know if he left you a calling card or something.
No. No.
I know he doesn't like me fooling around with his dust, so I put the dust in the pot. Do you think that might get in contact with him?
Oh God.
I don't... Kitty, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how I don't know how gods work.
Well, I can't look at my book really anymore. Daisy's really against me experimenting, so this is all I got left.
How about we talk to them before we just invite a god in?
I suppose that's probably the better idea. This just sounded like it was a lot more fun. And I haven't had fun in a long time.
Now, we
Oh
did...
my God.
I'm gonna level with it. We did promise Malcolm that we would not summon things that would cause ill will to the people here. That was a specific thing we promised.
That's right. Although he wouldn't have caused ill will to any of you. The gods just get angry with... What? She didn't even... They just get angry with me when I call upon them. Alright, well, we could talk to them. I don't care about talking to them. We've met some of their kind before.
Oh my God.
I think it's for the best we just talk. I think a conversation, we ain't necessarily gotta be forthwith with information that we have, but we can still find out what they are willing to share.
Suppose that's the more logical way to find out information. Alright. And then she looks over at the bartender again. She smiles.
Oh my God.
Still, wouldn't mind buying you that drink later on this evening.
Sure, have at it whenever you get the time. But as you two are discussing what to do, Yair, is there anything else you wish to do?
Yeah. So, with the rise of that thing and the beast, she sort of like subconsciously pulled out a piece of copper wire out of her pocket and is sort of like randomly wrapping it around her the fourth finger of her left hand and then unwinding it and then winding it again. And then she sort of like walks outside looks for a dark alley,
Mm-hmm.
and then when she's in the dark alley, she flies up onto one of the roofs.
Okay.
And then while she's winding the copper wire around her finger and unwinding it and winding it, she casts sending
Mm-hmm.
to her fiance.
Okay.
Are you alive? Are you safe? Where are you all? Do you need help? I miss you. I love you.
That's 20. I think you get 5 more, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. To be fair, you don't need to use up 25 words. You can go with just however many.
Are you Elven? Again.
Bear with me. So you do that sending. And there's a moment of dread when you don't get an immediate response. By Starshine? I am alive. I am with our kin. I don't know how this is possible. I thought you did. And that's where we're going to end the session for